BPod Studios.
If you've got the app, you've got Spirited Sports Talk.
I have one ear and I got that.
98.5, the Sports Hub. Ta-da! We're back with Toucher and Hardy on 98.5, the Sports Hub.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. Dan Roach is in for Hardy today. Alex Van Pelt had a big press conference yesterday, and Nick put something on the Toucher and Hardy Twitter, and he retweeted it, really. It wasn't even an original idea, and they said, doesn't Alex Van Pelt look like a clean-shaven Freddie T, referring to me, and I went, and I showed it to my daughter, and she went, who did that? Who said such a thing? And they went, Nick. And she goes, oh, stupid fat Nick.
Oh, wow.
And I go,
wow.
yeah, the same.
Boy.
I go, the same. And then I said, what it really is body shaming. Mm-hmm. And I got this
Her doing it to Nick?
No, that's just her observations. And she's 13, so I encourage it.
Come on, Fred.
No, she didn't really say that. But she did say he's got a big butt, and I did say, he does have a big butt. It brings all the boys to the yard. And this guy, Mark, on my own Instagram, @FredToucher, writes me, you body shame Nick all the time, dope. I don't know calling out Nick for having a lot of people in this culture enjoy that kind of buttock. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not, he made his own video about his own butt. He put a picture of his butt in a video that he made himself. His milkshake.
Mm-hmm. Damn right. It's better than yours.
Yeah, Dan, when his milkshake brings...
My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours. It's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to charge. My milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, it's better than yours.
He just won't dance.
No.
Whatever, I can't make him.
And the other part of it is every time I hear this song now, I think of Dodgeball, which is a big problem. Disgusting scene at the end of the movie.
I don't know what scene that is. I just think of Nick trying to hustle into the station.
I think it's friendly fribble.
All right.
It's not just,
that was nice.
It's not just when Dan says it. You guys, all you people listening are robbed to this. It's the smile we get after he says something like that.
Now, what was it in reference to? A fribble?
Friendly fribble.
What's a fribble?
I heard them talking about it on the midday show yesterday.
It's a type of drink you get at Friendly's here in Boston.
The best.
An ice cream.
Oh, so you were saying milkshake?
Thick frap milkshake.
Oh, you were using milkshake.
Yes.
It's like so. In your ideas, what I do when you would picture the video of this, just someone enjoying a milkshake in the yard.
Correct. Burger on that toast, the white bread toast with fries, with the crinkly fries.
Oh yeah,
oh, it's the best.
Crinkly fries, awesome.
Oh,
you and white bread never together in a sentence. Are you a fan of Stephen A. Smith?
Yes.
You're around the same age. And he's had a career rejuvenation. He's never been hotter than he is right now.
Yeah, a little bit, huh?
And you know him from his takes on the NBA and everything else. But Dan, he has a podcast. Now, have you ever thought of doing a podcast?
No, I'm not a podcast fan. Never have been.
Well, it's not like, I don't think anyone's a podcast fan.
Yeah.
I just think everyone has a podcast.
I know, it's insane.
No, I don't think many of them are making much money, Daniel, if that's what you're worried about. But here is Stephen A. Smith on his podcast. We did not make these up. Stephen A. Smith, maybe you get into this. You're known for your sports. You're known for your philanthropy. And maybe you can
What are you going to do to me now?
I'm just playing Stephen A. Smith clips.
Maybe we talk about the Red Sox or something?
We are going to talk about the Red Sox. Don't you worry. Where'd Nick go now?
Right behind you.
There he is. Yay. Yay, Nixon. Watch that Twitter. I don't look like him. And then the comments under it were even crueler. I'm going to get, you know what? I'm going to put Zoe on the phone and have her yell at you.
Huh.
You get management around. I'll do that. All right, here we go.
feel like Simmons, right? BBL or natural?
All right, so the question is BBL or natural. What does that mean, Dan? Because I don't know, in all honesty.
I don't know.
So it's Stephen A. Smith. He's doing a podcast. The listeners have asked him questions, and they say BBL or natural. Now, I don't know what BBL means. I honestly swear to God, don't know what BBL means. Do you? Would you care to venture a guess?
I don't know. Body bilateral movement or something?
All right, very good. You think that they're asking if it's or natural? Like, are you doing a bilateral movement or something more natural?
Yeah.
Okay.
Feel like Simmons, right? BBL or natural? Y'all know what I mean? Big booties. That's what they talking about here. Right?
Oh, he's talking about big booties.
Here we go.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, big booty. Could you do that, Dan? Can you get can you go, oh, Cooperstown? Can you be like, oh, Ted Williams? Can you do that? Just talk about something that you like that much. Like he likes butts.
No, because then you record it and use it forever. No.
What?
See?
Y'all know what I mean? Big booties. That's what they talking about here, right? What would I prefer? Well, natural. It's no secret what I have a proclivity for. That has been the case all my life. My adult life, that is. I have no desire to be with any woman as flat as me. To each his own. If I got more A's and T's than you, I'm on YouTube. I can say ass and but I just didn't feel like it. But if I got more of that than you, I don't need you. I really, really don't. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Is that fair? Should the woman, Dan, have a bigger behind and bigger chest than the man? I already know what John thinks. John thinks that the woman should look like she's from outer space with that butt. Mm-hmm. John says she should have to shop at the big and tall store.
Bring in the BBLs, man.
Yeah, John loves big butts. Dan?
No.
You don't feel that way. You don't have a preference either way. Who was your crush growing up? Like, what famous person?
Ooh, I don't know. Dwight Evans?
You were confused? Because you are married to a woman.
Yes.
Was there a female that you liked when you were growing up that you looked at it as like that was the epitome of beauty?
Marie Osmond?
Oh, yeah, she was pretty.
Karen Carpenter. That's more of a Hardy.
Oh, that's right. She's a little bit country. He's a little bit rock and roll.
Nice.
So, was there a girl like that you had a poster of on your wall?
My brother had Cheryl Tiegs.
Now did you like that?
The Charlie's Angels.
Okay, you did.
Kate Jackson, is that her name?
Kate Jackson was the one that you liked, the
liked
brunette.
her. Yeah.
So she was the one that you would fantasize about.
I don't know. That's the word, but yeah, I liked her. She was pretty.
Some level of voluptuousness has to exist.
Now, is that true? And to what level do you need voluptuousness?
I don't know.
Do you think that goes back to our need to make women pregnant, and then their voluptuousness shows them is ready to birth child?
I want curves. I mean, you can have some up here. I prefer a lot back there.
So now he's getting very specific. Your boobs, throw them in the trash as far as he's concerned. He likes just a big old fart box. Dan, this could be your future.
Dan, you have to look at him.
This is a guy who makes a lot more money than you.
I don't want to.
You don't want
I
it?
don't want to look at it. I don't think it's
Have you? Because this has evolved. Are you now a big
I was
butt
so
guy?
happy to watch the Bruins game last night. It was as entertaining a game as you're going to get all season, and I have to go through this. That's what I do, John. That's why I won't look at
The
him.
best part of it was when we started, he goes, "What are you going to do to me now?"
What do you think? What do you
Ready to talk socks? I could talk that.
Because I'm not a big butt guy. I don't understand it. I think it's kind of just a cultural thing. It's like a pet rock or something.
Coordinators.
A fad.
That was interesting.
No doubt about it. Legs matters, hips matter. I don't want you ugly, but you don't have to look like Halle Berry or Beyonce either. You understand? Strong 7. Strong 7.
Now, do you look at Halle Berry as an epitome of beauty?
Pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty good looking.
Yeah.
All right, he goes on.
Okay.
Now I'm going to deviate from this particular subject to bring up what a strong 7 is, because there's not a man alive that's going to disagree with what I'm about to break down. So I want the ladies to listen, because I'm trying to be here for you. You want a strong 7.
You want a strong 7. Now, who would you consider as a strong 7? 10 being the best. Like a woman who is like in her appearance, you would rate as a C.
John?
No, he asked you. I think that's the whole point of this exercise.
Let me tell you why. 10, fine as all get out, tat out, body, looking fine, everything like that, got it going on. Too much maintenance. Too much, because she knows she fine.
Is that true? In your experience with the like incredibly hot women, have they been very high maintenance? Have you ever been with like a woman you would say that was like absolutely gorgeous?
Yeah, my wife.
Okay, is she big? Is she high maintenance? Is your wife? You
My
consider?
wife's awesome.
Do you consider your wife the most attractive woman you've ever dated?
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Were you head over heels the minute you saw her?
Yeah.
You saw her from across the room. You
Well,
said
no, we
this.
kind of like, it took us a while to come together, but yeah.
But the first time you saw her, you're like, I could never get this girl. She's too beautiful.
I didn't look at it that way.
Oh.
I don't know how I looked at it. That's a good question, Fred. I have to think about that. I'll let you know tomorrow.
How long have you been married?
32 years?
Every morning you get up, do you go, I can't believe I'm actually married to this person.
Every
It's
morning
so
I get up
wonderful.
and I'm like, thank you.
Thank you. It's the first piece.
And I say, I'm sorry. Yeah, good one.
Yeah, that's fun. Now, do you thank God every morning you wake up and go, thank you for this angel being next to me?
No, I wouldn't say go that far, but yeah.
All right, well, I would.
I would say now.
And you're
like,
expendable. She could take you or leave you. A 9. That's a problem, too. Because you got enough people telling her she's a 10, so half of them acting that way. And by the way, the ones that ain't acting that way still require more from you than what others might. And so you got to be up on your game. That's problematic. 8. That's ideal. Because that's really, really good looking. She got it going on. But at the same time, there's a level of independence that comes with it, which is never a bad thing until she's so independent that she's making you feel like you need to be more dependent on her than she needs to be on you.
Do you agree with that, with the 8s?
I don't know. With the third pick overall, I'd take a quarterback.
Here's where the strong 7 comes in. Looks-wise, she can compete with an 8. But her mentality is not that of an 8. So she's more appreciative of you wanting her. As a result, she shows an elevated appreciation for you wanting her.
Do you think that's true, Dan, in your own experience, that when you're with women who maybe aren't so attractive, they're more appreciative of you liking them?
I don't know. I've never had that situation.
You've never been, so everyone's been the same looking that you've dated?
No, I mean, you know. I don't know what you want me to say.
I'm saying that have you found yourself that the prettier girls are more difficult to please and the more plain Janes are a little more appreciative they're with you? I'm just repeating Stephen A. Smith.
I don't know. You know, I'm not prepared to answer these questions.
Who played second base on the 1982 Red Sox?
Jody Reed.
See, that you didn't have to prepare for.
He's right.
All right, Daniel. Thank you very much.
When we come back.
No. What do you think, if you had to rank a woman on a scale 1 to 10, what's the hottest woman where would you rank her that you've been with, that you've slept with?
A 10, my wife.
Okay. And then after, other than your wife, the
She's
woman.
my one and only.
No. You've told us before you've slept with other women.
I lied.
No. In the car, you said that you slept with a woman.
I did not.
Or that was your wife that you slept with in the car.
No, I wouldn't say that either.
Yes, you did. John,
I seem to remember something along those
Yeah,
lines.
no, you guys
I
are
don't
wrong.
remember specifically, Fred, like you do, but I
Right.
remember something like that.
All right. All right, Dan. When we come back, we'll talk about the Red Sox.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Oh, more positivity.
No, we don't have to.
There was nothing negative in that. It was just what he liked. It was a preferential thing.
I'm just teasing him.
And-
He doesn't like the mood not to be positive or straightforward or happy in any way. And we've gone from him being uncomfortable for 15 solid minutes to something else he doesn't want to talk about, which is bad about the Red Sox. That was my point.
No, he can be as positive about the Red Sox as he wants to be. The floor is yours.
All right.
He's a
to
man.
a former Sox player yesterday who's just as ticked as everybody else is.
Are you afraid that if you say that you like a bigger or smaller butt, that you're going to offend the people with that have the
No,
other
I don't
kind?
think people need to hear that from me. You can do it, Fred. That's what's right up your alley. That's how you
But
live.
they needed to hear it from
And
Stephen
Wallach,
A.
I hear it
Smith.
from Wallach all the time. Have it for years.
Oh yeah, well Wallach loves huge
Yes,
butts.
and I know that from listening to the show.
Yeah, and you listen to the show all the time.
I do.
So
I'm a
there's
fan.
something. So you like it when he says it.
John, I just giggle.
Okay,
You know,
but you can't participate in the same way.
I don't feel like I need to.
All right.
Okay, I
Thank you, Dan.
don't need the aggravation.
Who needs
Everywhere
it?
I go. Oh, Fred,
Dan?
you feel comfortable today. I know.
Dan, do you have erectile dysfunction?
Nope.
All right, because I'm going to talk directly to you in this ad. Here we go. I'm going to talk directly to Dan. Here we have it.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Country music has so many generous artists who always seem to jump in to help those in need. We're spotlighting 5 who lead by example and lend a helping hand to charitable causes. See who made our list when you text GIVE to 45911. Text GIVE to 45911 and read all about it right now on BackstageCountry.com.
Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
All right, we got Dan Roach in here, and Dan Roach is not in spring training, which is a shame, but spring training's going on. I don't recall, and I haven't heard anyone recall a team being this down on itself before a season even started publicly. I mean, they haven't even played an exhibition game yet, and they're already kind of conceding the season. Dan, you are very close to this team. What are your thoughts on what's going on?
I think it's embarrassing, Fred, to be honest with you. I just think it's, I don't know. I just keep shaking my head. I think like everybody else, anybody around the team that's been around the team for a long time, former players and what have you, was, from even Rafi Devers and everyone else, it's just like, I don't know. It's just very disappointing to see this from what I think has been a great ownership from day one here when they got here with John Henry and Tom Werner and Larry Lucchino. It just suddenly stopped in a lot of ways. And yes, they spend money. There's a payroll, but they're going to be about midway this year, 15th so.
Yeah, and they're quite. They have if their argument was they didn't want to hit the luxury tax, they're tens of millions of dollars below it.
Yeah. So I mean, they had room. They still have room to go out and sign. And I know Boris is a holdup or what have you, but I think if you sign Jordan Montgomery and if you go out and sign, even Adam Duvall, bring him back here, I think everybody looks at it differently. So it's not that you're asking for much.
Adam Duvall.
Yeah, Duvall played way above his head for long periods of time last year. Historically speaking, if you look at his statistics, he didn't approach that.
You know
the
what I mean
previous
from the
3 or
sense
4
of I would have
years.
liked Jorge Soler. I would just like somebody
Okay.
else to show the fans that you're committed to what you're trying to do. here.
How well do you know John Henry?
Not. I mean, I've known him for 25 years since he's been here, just to casually say hi.
Sure.
And, things like that.
But
So-
have you ever talked to him off the record, and not even recently? Do you feel like you've gotten a sense of what kind of guy he's like?
He's actually a very good guy.
Okay, good. So you have.
Yeah.
So this is not I'm not making you uncomfortable anymore. This is a real
No,
question.
I know what you're saying.
Do you think that, because there's no way Henry bought this team just to make money. Like, Henry bought it because he wanted the cachet that came with owning the
and
team.
generally loved it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Remember, Fred, when he first got here, he would sit in his luxury box and he would have the windows open and he'd be soaking in the beautiful nights and things like that. He'd be pointing to the fans and loved it. Loved every second of it.
Okay, so then this is a team, we're never going to win anything. And then in 2004, they win a championship. Then they win multiple championships. Do you feel that he was like, well, why doesn't this town love me? Like, why am I being constantly insulted? Like, why is my baseball acumen and who I hire always being challenged? Do you think that he was just like, he's like just sort of over it, and so he doesn't even feel he's kind of like, why would I push every year to make this team a contender when at the end of the day you're just going to hate me anyway? And that's entirely in my own mind.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that far, but I get what you're saying. You know, I think maybe more it's just he's burnt out from being
it kind of goes to saying
a baseball owner.
Well, because here's the thing is because he won't talk to the media, and everyone who knows him says the reason he won't talk to the media is because he thinks the media will just twist what he says.
He's afraid to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Every time he says something, it gets taken and blown out and things like that.
But don't you think he would have thought when he bought the team, if you would have told him when he bought the team, in 2024 you're going to have this many championships, like, you know, the team's going to have this run. Don't you think he would be like, wow, I'll be loved?
Look what I did. And we redid Fenway Park, renovated it over a 10-year period. We've brought 4 World Series titles that they hadn't had any since that Chris. Yes, that I thought he thought he'd be a beloved figure.
So I've never
he's missing Larry Lucchino in his life right now. I really do. And I love Sam Kennedy.
We've talked about that. Larry was really good at running blocker those first 10 years.
But also Larry was good at pushing him and pushing the baseball ops guys. In December, early December, he'd be sitting there saying, we have to sell tickets. We have to go sell advertising. And he would say, guys, you got to go out and sign somebody. Go out and sign a Jordan Montgomery to get people excited about what's going on here. Larry had that good sense of business, and maybe people felt like he pushed it too far and what have you in his past relationships. He was tough to work for. But I think he was good for John. And he was not afraid to stand up there and say, this is what we're doing. This is what's best for the ownership. This is what's best for the fans. And this is what's best for baseball here in Boston, because we have to go against the evil empire. We have to keep up with them. We have to go battle and try to win a championship, because that's what it's all about here in Boston.
By the way, the Yankees are somewhat similar in that they spend a lot of money. You have an owner there, Steinbrenner, who is under the same part of the party. He got the Yankees a new ballpark. It's been a while since he's won a championship. He's won a championship since he took over for his father's estate. But fans are all over him. They speak terribly of him when the Yankees don't win.
All right, well,
the difference is he spends every year.
No, he went through a time where he didn't. The fans are frustrated at Cashman, and also that fan base expects to win a World Series every year. It's a failure. I think the pressure on the Yankees is unlike any other organization in North American sports. But Steinbrenner's not hated like his dad was. But plus they care more about baseball in New York. You know that. I mean, if you listen to Sports Talk Radio in New York, they talk about baseball like a significant amount. It's just not as popular here anymore. But when you mention like John Henry and not wanting to talk to the media, and I understand he's not like, his skills aren't his charisma and his social interactions. You know, his skills are elsewhere. It's like math and, doing in business and that kind of stuff. But his business skills aren't, shaking hands and kissing babies, right? Like he's like
he's not an outgoing person.
He's an odd fella. Like you read the arm. When I always bring it up, I apologize. But Passan was with Lester when everyone was making their pitches to him, and he said that Lucchino and Jesus, I just said his name. Henry came in to pitch Lester, and it was like, woof, like Henry, and then Theo came in, and it was like, wow, it was like this insane pitch.
Actually, even in that movie, what's the one with Brad Pitt? Moneyball. Even the actor portraying John Henry is a very awkward. A very strange, awkward guy.
But he even seems happier in that movie because he's like, look at Fenway. It's so beautiful. And like,
he had just taken over at that point.
Yeah, I know. But but what I'm saying is, like, he's not this charismatic guy. But but I wonder if there's a part of him that's like, why, like, this is bull crap. Like, I've given you more than you ever expected, and you're in the way that you're just badmouth me every time I turn on the radio, which he does. You guys are badmouthing me, which leads me to a point that I've had, because ever since I've been here, everyone craps on everyone. No, during the Bruins run, we weren't crapping on them. Celtics don't get a lot of crap thrown on them. The Patriots, you all fan base, I mean, they were gods to you. The Red Sox are consistently crapped on in this town. Like, it's just something that happens, and it makes me wonder. And Dan, I'll ask you, I don't know for a fact, it's just a theory, that this town never really wanted a championship. Because still, when I asked John the other day, what's everyone's favorite World Series for the Red Sox, it's 1975, a series that they lost. That's the one everyone talks the most about. That's the one that's in the baseball Ken Burns documentary. I understand it was made before, they won some of their titles, but nonetheless, it might have been made before 2004. But that's the one. Do you think that this is a town, because Chicago is, the Cub fans are, do you think this is a town that was a little bit happier in the long run before they had won the championship?
I think so. I think what happened was, I think we all thought this as they were going through it, is what happens if they win? What happens if they finally break the curse? How is life going to be after that? And I think it kind of changed the passion of Red Sox fans in a lot of ways, even though they followed up with another one in 2007, and then they won in 13 and 18. I think everything changed after that. Just that deep down, woe is us, look at us, we're the underdogs, we're never going to win. I think people kind of like that. And, maybe it just carried over, and it hasn't been the same.
And it's almost like a muscle
same
that
as the
people
Cubs,
have. Yeah, well, the Cubs, they're not going to games. I mean, the Cubs fans don't care at all. They didn't want to win that. It took every little the Cubs fans were nauseating with that crap.
But I do think that maybe goes hand in hand with what you're saying, Fred. I think John Henry maybe looks at this team and says, what do these fans want? If I pour all this money in and we do win another championship, what will it do for them? Will it satisfy them? Because I think in 2018, they had the greatest Red Sox team ever assembled, and it didn't seem the joy was there.
No,
from a fan base.
No,
it's and I always go back to, I think it's stars. I think Red Sox fans want stars more than anything else.
Well, you had the biggest star in town that you're ever going to get for the Red Sox.
Well, and I think they screwed up going back a while with how they negotiated, and going back and forth. Do we sign a big deal? Not a big deal. I think they screwed up a lot of deals that way, and I think it turned the fan base angry against them even more so, because they didn't keep John Lester, who was really popular, knew how to win. They didn't keep Mookie Betts. They didn't keep Xander Bogaerts. And they didn't act when they should have acted. That's the problem with me, is go get these guys and secure them early and just get a deal done. And you see it, with a lot of other teams, and you see it's growing increasingly now more and more. And it's harder, I think, in baseball to do these when they're young type of deals. But I think they screwed that up badly, and I think now the fans are just like, they want their stars. They want, you go to a game and all people say, I miss Mookie Betts. I miss Xander Bogaerts. I miss Jackie Bradley Jr.
Yeah, but you weren't happy when you had him. And the thing is that
it's interesting. Not Jackie Bradley Jr.
Okay, thank you for changing.
No, you know what I mean.
No, you can always get Harrison Bader. He's a very similar player.
Right, but you had that 18 team, and they won 118 games or what have you, and still people aren't satisfied.
No, and there's this like annoying reflexive muscle around here where like there's apathy, but then anytime the Red Sox get brought up, it's like this. And now you have a reason to bitch right this second. But I mean, been here since 2006, just this only team that's just like apathy or complaining, and it's like this boring complaining too. I don't like. I always it's a real turnoff for me when I hear someone complaining about it. You're complaining about them in July. You're complaining like either do you care or I mean because you're complaining or you don't care,
right, Fred? Like St. Louis, the Cardinals fan base or what have you.
Right.
It's just fun to go to a game in a lot of ways. And I think around here, I don't know what happened, but for whatever reason, you're right. It just became everywhere you go, people just complain. No matter how many games they won.
The ownership got scared last season because no one went to the games at the end of the season, and the ownership depends on that, unlike here. And it scared the hell out of that Cardinals front office, so they actually went and spent money this offseason.
Which is why I don't understand why the Red Sox didn't go out and spend money this offseason. They should be scared. there's not going to be anybody in those seats in April and May.
After opening day.
Maybe they think out of town fans. Maybe they don't even care because
Tom Warner said that. Tom said that they'll be the tourists and that'll take care of their revenue and everything.
And that's the other part.
That's not pleasing your fan base.
They're not speaking well. They're putting guys in front of the media that shouldn't be in front of the media. Tom Warner saying the record is probably the most important thing, but we really are focused on the Fenway experience. If you're a fan and you hear that, what are you supposed to think?
Well, I would guess you'd get more Wally the Monster.
Well, that's for the Dan Roaches of the world.
I would imagine they'd have several Wallies walking around. The best is like when the dude in the Wally costume recognizes you and he's like, puts up a fist and you're like, hey, what's up, dude?
That is a good feeling.
It's like, yeah, you know who
What's up,
I am.
Wally?
You know who I am. Hey, Wally. Dan Roach is here, but so I mean, I'm not listening to it, and I'm not participating in once the season gets going. The daily Red Sox talking. It's apathy. I mean, It is what it is, and it's too long a season, and it's good for me because I like taking my son to the games.
Yeah,
there will be more empty
tickets,
more empty seats to go wander into.
Easy.
Much to Joe Murray's consternation, who says, that's my territory. All right, so we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Wondering who made our list of the top 5 all-time queens of country music? Did Carrie Underwood make the cut? Find out now when you text Queens to 45911 and scroll through the list on BackstageCountry.com. Text Queens to 45911 to see the talented artists who rounded out our top 5 list.
It's the all-new way for you to wake up. Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Oh, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy's not in. Dan is in. This hour of our show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Brian, you have a question for Danny Roach?
Hey, good morning, guys. How you doing?
Hey.
Hey, rough morning after that game last night. But, hey, Danny, I had a quick question. So I've been kind of talking with some of the guys in my, let's call it, baseball circles. Mm-hmm. And I got an important question I need your assistance on. F, Mary, Kill, Rapunzel, Moana, and Elsa. Go.
You can't ask him to do that. You can't ask him to do that. No.
He said Red Sox question.
He said it was going to be a Red Sox question.
Roach, I apologize.
That's okay.
Oh, man.
Elsa, let me see. No.
Dan, don't sexualize these characters. They've been through enough. Let your light shine. When's the next time you're going to Disney?
Me? I don't know. My daughter went and made me jealous, so I didn't have a chance to go. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll be
Crash
back.
is going in 11 days.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing that not going to spring training does for him. It torpedoes any chance to get away on an off day and zip across the state and go to Orlando.
Well, there's no zipping off to Orlando from Fort Myers.
No,
that's got to be an 8-hour drive.
I don't know
6-hour drive?
It's about 5.
Fine, 5-hour drive. It's not zipping across to Orlando.
No, but last year my wife had a work conference that I went down to Orlando with.
Yeah,
and stayed with her, and I went golfing at the Disney course one day.
Yeah,
I went to the park one day, and then we finished with 2 days at the parks together.
Yeah,
it was nice.
Did you guys smooch on the rides?
No. We just walk around.
No. But do you go like, oh, come here? Mwah.
No.
She gets really scared and she's forced back into your arms type of thing.
No, but you're like just in love. Like do you hold her hand while you walk around the park?
Sometimes.
Yeah. So you're holding her hand, and then like you get down to whatever, like Mr. Toad's Wild Ride or whatever.
Small World.
And then you go, come here,
you.
Huh? Go, here's to 38 more great years.
On the teacups. Whoa. Mwah.
Yeah. You ever give her one right there on the lips?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
How many pictures you think you take when you're at Disney? You take a lot of you and the gang?
Decent amount. I used to take way more
with
the characters and stuff. But
now your son's getting married. Is he getting married at Disney?
No. I know. My nephew did.
Yeah.
But,
and you officiated the wedding.
Yeah.
Now, not in character. You were Dan Roach.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did he have characters at the wedding?
Yeah. Yes, that was a surprise afterwards.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. If
Yeah.
you're
Goofy showed up, Mickey.
When did he sustain his brain injury?
Yeah, 2012.
So he got married. So he was an adult that got married to another adult.
Yes.
And then they got married at Disney, which I hear is lovely.
Yeah.
And then
It was awesome. It was really well
no,
well
I'm
done.
sure. And then there are beautiful areas there. And then after the wedding, there's this reception, and
Over in England. In
Huh?
Epcot. We walked over to Epcot in England. That's where the reception was.
Oh, so you walked through like just the park, like the.
Well, we went from, over in the boardwalk area. We walked through to Epcot, and in England, they had a little section cordoned off, and we had a buffet and watched the fireworks from the Epcot show.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, the whole wedding party went over to Frozen and rode Frozen when the park shut down.
What was in that buffet that was at Disney?
Like a lot of English stuff, like beef and
Like terrible things. All that
was
great
good.
English
Dessert
food.
was, I know, right? It was heavy.
yeah.
No, it was good though. And he's worked there for a long time. He did. Now, his wife still works there, so he's awesome. And he knows everything about Disney. If you have a question, Fred, if you're going down there, hey, where can I eat? Where can I go? What would you do? What with that? He's tremendous.
Has he ever let you in any area of Disney that you're not supposed to get into? Like, or maybe not.
Well, not really, but my sister-in-law used to work there too, so she would let us like behind the scenes in the Tower of Terror.
Is it weird?
Yeah, a little bit.
See, that always creeps me out.
No, not bad though.
Because when I told you I was on the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep.
And it stopped, and then they turned all the lights on, and we had to walk out.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I was a kid, and it still it still bugs me. Like I have nightmares about
It's like opening the curtain behind the scenes.
It was just. Yeah, first of all, it's like not a big building. It's obviously the size like a McDonald's.
No, if you watch that show on Disney,
I can't. It freaks me out.
About all the rides and behind the scenes and everything.
I know what you're talking about. It freaks me out.
Does it really?
Really freaks me out. Like I don't. Something about it freaks me out.
Wow.
Because when I was a kid, getting stuck on that ride freaked me out. And then they had that awful Snow White ride where you went around the corner and there was the big witch yelling at you. And like
I didn't like the Efflumps and Woozles in the Pooh ride. That scared the heck out of me.
I don't remember that. This is when I was real little, but they don't even have that ride anymore.
No,
and it used to be called the Nightmare. Like it was called Snow White's Nightmare or something. And
it was scary.
Yeah. So that freaked me out when I was a little kid. I'm filled with anxiety, Dan. You know that.
Really?
Yeah, can you imagine? And so so I was afraid of that ride, and I was all nervous to go on other rides, and then we get on the Pirates of the Caribbean, and it just breaks down.
Yeah.
And they don't get right at it.
You get stuck.
You
sit for a while.
You sit for a while.
Stuck with that smell.
And there's
the water
maniac
smell.
adults like getting out of it and like putting their feet in that water and like walking around.
Yeah.
And then they turn the lights on. And then the people that come out are like dressed as not like as characters, but they're dressed in like a weird uniform. Like everything is weird.
Yep.
I didn't care for any of it.
All right.
But I don't mind Disney. In fact, someone I like very much and respect is going to Disney with their parents and have offered me to tag along, and I think I might go.
Yeah, definitely. It's as an adult. I mean, I know I'm a dork and everything else.
Yeah, you are a real piece of crap.
But I just like the fact that, like, again, I go on property. You just don't have to rent a car, and you just kind of like my wife and I now. We just walk around, and I'll go on an occasional ride.
Which is your favorite hotel?
Restaurants. I like my favorite is the Yacht Club. That's where my daughter stayed last month.
That's
drives
across
me
from
crazy.
Boardwalk.
Bloody
Yes.
God,
Yeah.
the Yacht Club.
That's where we went to the character breakfast.
It's really
at the Yacht
nice.
Club.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like
God.
the Contemporary's nice.
Yeah, we stayed at Boardwalk.
I loved the
good.
Wilderness Lodge. I always loved the Wilderness Lodge. That was a fun one because you take the boat over and things like that. So, and I like the Swan and Dolphin, which is kind of part of Disney but not part of Disney.
You know, this is just a checklist of places where him and his wife had consummated their relationship. Too close, too true. Ryan, go ahead.
Gosh.
Go on.
Hey guys, great show.
Thank you.
I got a Disney story for you guys. When I was in 5th grade, my first day at Universal, I thought I was going on this ride called Journey to the Center of the Universe. And this is before cell phones, so my dad's like, meet back at the spot in like 20 minutes. And I go on the ride, and again, I think it's Journey into the Center of the Universe. Little did I know it was actually Alien Encounter, and it was the alien from the Ridley Scott movies. And it was
boy.
It was
That's the creepiest ride I've ever been on in my life.
So, Ryan, go ahead. What?
So I'm like strapped into a chair, and again, I think we're just going like checking around the universe and things like that. And then we like bring this alien like on the ship, and it's like in this tube. And then the tube like breaks and the alien's like loose. And I'm thinking I'm in 5th grade. I'm thinking the ride is like real at this point. I'm yelling for my mother. I'm by myself. I'm like crying. Mind you, whenever my parents let me go there by myself, that's another story. But I'm literally like crying and like yelling for my mother. They do this thing where they like kind of stop the ride. And this guy's like, is everybody all right? And we're like, no, we're not okay. He's like, something happened. We're going to go check to make sure the ride's okay. And it's like a video camera of the guy like checking like the downstairs to see if the ride's okay. And it's basically like Jurassic Park when he sees like the Velociraptor and the thing attacks him and then the lights go out. And dude,
you thought it was real. You thought that the ride had actually broken down.
100%. 100%. And when the ride was over, like people were coming up to me being like, are you okay? Like, you need to find your parents. Like a cop came up to me, and my dad has a drink, and he's like coming over. He's like, what the fuck happened?
All right, you can't swear, but
good thing it didn't affect him the rest of his life.
Well, that stuff, I'm telling you.
That stuff scares you. For that alien ride, I'm glad they got rid of it because it drove me. You could feel the breath of the alien in your face. It was like the worst.
But you know what? Even though it's like a kid, but because it's a kid's ride, that Snow White's nightmare ride was ridiculous because that was marketed towards like 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds. Like that kid's parents were dumb to let him on the alien ride. I understand how it affected him, but that's like kind of like a parental problem and like a problem with Disney letting him on. But like you'd think you could go on the Disney, and I'm sure it's way a million times scarier. And I'm glad I never went on it. But I mean, they encourage kids to go like, hey, like bring your newborn on the Snow White. You go, oh, Snow White's such a nice story, and then you're like, no, this is all about the poison apple. Eat the poison apple. Ah! You're like, ah.
I'm sure you're not alone.
No, you can Google it. There's like 5 million people
that are all
traumatized by it. Yeah,
exactly. Like that guy.
F Disney. Oh, yeah. And I don't like roller coasters anyway. See, I'll go on any water slide. Isn't this interesting? I'll go on any water slide, even the real scary ones.
Yep.
But because you're not strapped in.
Really? So you don't like that constriction?
I don't like being trapped in the thing because I'm afraid it's going to get stuck probably.
Yeah. No, because that, like... Same, like, for me, I don't like I didn't like Everest because it went backwards, the roller coaster.
Yeah, I wouldn't care for that.
You know, and then
I don't need any of that.
I hated Guardians of the Galaxy. It made me nauseous.
I got enough. My stomach bothers me enough. I'm nervous enough. I don't need it more. It's like going to a horror movie. I'm like, nah. Like, I want to be more uncomfortable.
Yes, I need to laugh.
Yeah, I want to feel comfortable.
Yes, I just want to laugh and have a good time.
I want to escape and feel comfortable.
Thank you. Yep, I'm with you on that one, Fred.
All right, we're together.
Okay, good.
Especially, and you and John are together in your love of huge asses. Billy Jaffe, I couldn't let one moment go. Billy Jaffe isn't going to be in studio in just a moment.